I'm Hannah. I'm in the BA Test Kitchen about to have a super secret conversation about Chris Morocco. Once again, we're putting Chris's super taster abilities to the test. This is Emeril Lagasse's chicken cordon bleu. I'm challenging Chris to recreate this dish with all of the ingredients in just one day. He'll be able to taste it, touch it, and smell it, but at no point will he be able to see this dish. At the end of the day, we'll come back to see his final creation, and I'll be the judge.
For a second, it smelled like low-key Thanksgiving and gravy, maybe. Huh. I'm getting supreme crispiness. There seems to be kind of like a lobe of situation, and then like another lobe of situation that is maybe divided like one piece of something. Breadcrumb coating on chicken. It's got to be a pretty, decent sized chicken breast that was butterflied open so that it becomes like one sort of giant cutlet. I'm curious about what's in here. And that thing is ham. It's giving me city ham vibe. So like a wet brine that's a little bit maybe smoky, lightly cured. Or then there's cheese in here too. Oh God. There's no elegant way to do this, unfortunately. Tastes like kind of like a Swiss, something in like the Gruyere realm. I think we've got a big chicken breast. It is then dredged in what I'm assuming is probably like a flour, egg, breadcrumb, 3-part dredge. Fine breadcrumb, salt, pepper, deeply browned. I don't know that I'm getting tons of other flavor here. Everything's really nicely seasoned. Salt is right there. And also the expression of black pepper, this one that's actually providing some degree of heat, florality, a little bit of like intensity and vibrancy. It's pretty interesting. However, there really is this quite pronounced umami forward quality to this dish. There could be a pinch of cayenne pepper, a little bit of garlic powder, things that are just boosting overall flavor, but without necessarily announcing themselves. Just gonna watch me all afternoon, all of you, aren't you? Thanks. And then there's this. Seems to be a mixture of baby peas and rice. Seems pretty plain, giving you a meat plus 2 kind of vibe. Chicken in the presence of ham and cheese has got to be chicken cordon bleu. It's a little bit like country club food. I've never even been to a country club, but like this is like kind of what I imagine you're gonna see on the menu. I mean, I think it works, it's delicious, and it makes sense. I feel good with this first tasting, and I'm ready to make a shopping list. Right back at you. Perfect. The key to the entire dish. Large, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. We also need like a straight up like Swiss cheese option. I'd love a Gruyere option, city ham, then AP flour, eggs, fine breadcrumb, plain. I would love to check out a seasoned breadcrumb option to do a little side-by-side on that. We could almost make our own seasoned breadcrumb as an option. Consider a little bit of cayenne, maybe even a little bit of like paprika, garlic powder, onion powder. Great, I've got my ingredients here. That'll be what I use to do my first attempt at the dish. And yeah, somebody's gonna go shop and we'll be right back. First impressions, there's not a whole heck of a lot here. Like this is like, one of those moments where hubris can easily come in, thinking you've got it in the bag. Yeah, Italian style. You never just got sent off to the movies with a big container of Italian style breadcrumbs and a spoon? No? Big picture, we're gonna do rice and peas, get it out of the way. Then we're gonna butterfly the chicken, laminate it with cheese and ham, dredge the chicken, and then we'll be ready to cook. Honestly, the rice and the peas, it's just there to round out the chicken. Make it so that the chicken's not just like sitting there alone on a plate. Did you see that? Yep. Great spatial awareness. Keep your peas looking vibrant. Defrost them in water. So we've got some cheese options. I mean, it all comes back to cheese somehow or another. So this is regular Swiss cheese. Flavor's okay, a little chalky. This is like the cabbage Gruyere, maybe too fancy. This already smells like funky gym sock town, you know? It's pretty nice. But this is a slightly drier cheese, which means it's not gonna melt as well. Remember that cheese pull, you know, in the original dish? It was like a slightly higher kind of water content that you'd get here. The Swiss cheese, A, from the thinness perspective, nice even coverage. B, from a flavor perspective, being fairly mild. C, it's just gonna melt better. All right, now ham. When I refer to city ham, I'm talking about like a cured, wet brined ham. Lightly smoky, flavored, and aroma. I'm thinking it's just one slice here. All right, so let's talk about the chicken, which I'm going to open up. It's called butterflying. This is a way to turn something that's thicker into something thinner, but still maintain its integrity as one piece. I'm honestly wondering if I need to pound this out slightly, because otherwise I'm gonna have a hard time getting all of this in there using these. Know what I'm saying? I think we need to go wider and thinner. So the top part of the breast is where it's gonna be thickest, and the bottom thinnest. This just evens out those two parts. I wanna season the inside of the chicken. The ham is gonna add light smokiness and a little bit more intensity of flavor. Cheese is gonna add fat. Chicken breast, notoriously devoid of fat, and can use that so much. This is a pretty thin layer of business here. Just go one ham, and then we'll actually count next time. So I feel pretty good about this. Set this aside and focus on dredge. Dredging usually happens in 3 parts. First thing, flour. Dries out food, preps it for getting a liquid layer. In this case, we're gonna use egg. Egg has this wonderful ability to have the proteins coagulate as it cooks. It's gonna provide wonderful levels of adhesion, and then your breadcrumb layer. So I wanna actually just chat about the breadcrumbs one more time. I know we smelled the Italian breadcrumbs, but we didn't taste the Italian style breadcrumbs. My grandmother used these in everything. I mean, I swear she put it in f***ing salad dressing. These have not changed in decades. And it has like some really wonderful qualities to it. It's just so strong. This is like, whoa. This would be so prevalent as a flavor. It would really leap out if it had been in the original dish. Instead of using that, we're gonna go with plain fine breadcrumbs. Salt in all of the dredging elements. Something that's well seasoned means salt. Brought out and realize the maximum flavor potential of a food. Black pepper in the breadcrumb and black pepper in the flour. I'm not gonna put black pepper in the egg. It just kind of upsets me to see it in there, looking all speckly. I have some other ingredients, you know, in this breading mixture. I'm not convinced that we need them right now. So we're going seasoned flour. I'll let it drip off any excess, and then into our breadcrumb. I'm gonna start getting some neutral oil hot in a skillet over here. I don't think I was tasting olive oil in the original. Neutral oil feels like the safer bet right now. The chicken really has to be deep golden, super burnished, and also like it's gonna get so much more flavor for having that crispy outer shell. Color on the first side, oil was a little bit hot, so my color kind of sucks. So I'm just calming the heat down a little bit, and I'm hoping that the other side can be my presentation side, so I actually look like I know what I'm doing. Rice is done, peas are defrosted. So color on that second side, I'd say is like way better. I'm honestly a little bit surprised that the cheese wouldn't start to ooze out in spots, but maybe I didn't use enough. But I think we're good here. I really don't want to sog out that bottom crust. I want to let it rest at least 5 minutes before I cut this chicken in half. Some of the cheese should hopefully set back up just a little bit, such that it can stay inside the chicken where we want it. Okay, the chicken's cooked. It looks juicy, a little bit oozy and melty. World's greatest rice. Gives a little balance or something. That is my first take at the dish, and I'm feeling overall pretty good about it. Things kind of stayed where they needed to be. Very happy with the color on the second side here. Also just like happy with the construction in that we didn't lose any cheese, we didn't lose any juices to the plate. I will be very curious to see my actual score for ingredients because it feels like I'm close. I would say I'm at a 90. The key elements and the construction of this dish, I feel really solid on. Technique, 3-part dredge, butterflied chicken, got the rice with the peas right there, all shot through it. I will go with 90 again. Appearance, I'd go with like 85 on that. This looks a little bit stark, even with our best friend, the rice and peas. Still juicy.
How'd the cheese melt?
Still going. We could be here all day. Oh wait, no, okay. Flavor-wise, I want to give this a 90. The texture and the crunch and that outer breading shell is so nice. Seeing the scores at this stage, so I'm hoping this provides me some clues. Oh, all right, so I gave myself an average of an 89. Actual is 84. And where I'm most deficient, fascinatingly enough, is ingredients. I'd say in the second tasting, I need to be hyper-focused on ingredients and really see if there was some stuff that I missed the first time around. Hopefully that'll have positive effect on where I'm coming up short in terms of taste, and that'll be the difference I need here. Still very chickeny. This chicken seems like it was most likely cut on a bias. It would just be like you guys to dock 10 points because I didn't cut it at the right angle. I absolutely want to taste the breading on its own. Yeah, there's like a flavor upgrade happening here, but it's not seasoned breadcrumbs, I don't think. Thinking about like a garlic powder, onion powder, introducing like a little bit of cayenne. Like this almost tastes like it's got like Creole seasoning in it. Open this up, count slices. It seems like 2 pieces of ham sandwiching a layer of cheese. In terms of what's going on inside the chicken, I feel good with where I'm at. Think about ingredients I could be missing. It really seems like they've gotta be in the dredge. I think that wraps up second tasting. I have a direction in terms of what I can shift. We're gonna play around with some breadcrumbs. So I think I'm good here though. Okay, so things that are gonna be the same about this test. Frankly, all of the dredge elements are gonna be the same as what I did before. Uh-oh, shell down. I tried to get so f***ing slick with that second one, and there's just shell like all over that. Pretend it didn't happen. Let's get the breadcrumbs in here. I'm sticking with the fine breadcrumb. The original where it's taking me is a seasoning blend. I'm gonna be adding cayenne, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder. It's hard to pick out any one element, but it's indicative of like a certain kind of style of cooking where you see these elements often working together. Is that gonna get me my 17 points or whatever? I guess we gotta hope. A little bit of cayenne, not much. It's just heat. Linear, in your face, paprika, good color concentration, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of pepper flavor. I'm gonna just do the garlic powder. I'm going for the onion powder as well. Brings you a certain amount of umami. It makes things taste more like themselves. Salt and the pepper. Likely candidates for herbs that could go in a mixture like this might be dried oregano or dried thyme. I am not going to use that. Just that like I didn't taste it on its own. Nothing about the egg element really felt like there's anything going on there. You could combine egg and dairy. I would kind of argue that it's really the egg that's doing the heavier lift in that equation. 2 pieces of ham. Do we go for 3? It's too bad we're not getting graded on just awesomeness, you know? 'Cause we could just max out on cheese, really knock hair back, you know? Okay. When you pound the chicken, you start to compromise the integrity of the muscle. Part of this dish is predicated on you maintaining the integrity of both halves of the chicken while also getting it really thin, such that you can get your ham and cheese package in there. Oh geez, fuck. Let's just assume that it's all gonna work out. The sort of working assumption here, even though I had that tear in the skin, the dredge is going to kind of be a little bit of a Band-Aid on it and just give a little bit of separation between oil and then the chicken meat itself. But I don't know, there's not too much that's leaping out at me in terms of like what the other processes that could kind of come into play here. That's all I got for you. Ready to head to the stove. The color to me is like so much more dependent on how much of that spice blend goes into the breadcrumb, because it's gonna wanna get color like fast. Already the paprika really wanting to pull the color of this really down. That's annoying. All of these pockets, that's a little bit of a bummer to me. Even though I really calmed the heat down for the initial, cook on that first side, still could have gone even a bit lower. So we're gonna cut the chicken in half on an angle this time, how it was done in the original. Layers are looking good. Chicken is nicely cooked. All right, so this is version 2. This is the one I need to serve to the judge. And overall feeling pretty good about it. I'm now hoping to get ingredients closer to let's call it an 85. Technique-wise, I really didn't do much at all different. I mean, I sandwiched the cheese between slices of ham this time. I guess let's go with 87 then. I'm very curious to see where the 13 points are coming from that I'm missing here. Let's say this is a 92 for appearance. The enhanced color on the chicken seems correct. Let's get up to an 85 for taste for this pass. My self-score for this round is an 87. No more cracks at this, and I'm just gonna have to see what the judge says. Hey, Hannah.
Hey, Chris. How's it going?
It's good.
Yeah? How do you think you did today?
It felt like pretty straightforward. Not too many bells and whistles, but maybe there was a whistle that was just kind of far away and I couldn't hear it that well.
Do you have a guess as to the name of the dish or the chef who made it?
I think this is chicken cordon bleu. This dish feels like very kind of like continental European, maybe just like cranked up just a little bit, mixing a little regular in with the decaf.
Chris, may I present to you chicken cordon bleu by Chef Emeril Lagasse.
Ah, Emeril. Okay, not bad. Some kind of like herb situation happening in there. I couldn't get it, in terms of the flavor.
First of all, they look very similar in just the color, driven both by the dredge and the fry. He layers 2 slices of ham, 2 slices of cheese, and then folds it over.
I see. Okay.
As far as the dredge goes, you did great, but you're going to be upset to know that it's Italian seasoned breadcrumbs.
Stop. That's the Progresso? Oh my God.
Yes, it is.
It tasted so different to me.
It's because you also left out the dried oregano and dry thyme.
Oh.
And that is what you're seeing, these little woody bits.
He's starting with a base of Italian breadcrumbs, and then he's adding these things to it.
Yes. That list might be long, but the actual seasoning, they're part of Emeril's signature original essence blend.
Interesting.
Oh, he looks so young on the label.
He looks great. I mean, he really does. So once the chicken, packages were assembled, I simply went into a skillet with hot neutral oil.
Okay, this might freak you out. Emeril uses olive oil.
Does he?
And butter.
No.
True to Emeril's more is more style, the butter in the oil is introduced twice.
The sense that I had that this was this classic that a lot of people know the name of, but not necessarily what it is, was in fact given more of like a regionalized or like a chef-specific spin. Signs were there, but they were more subtle than you might think, I'd say.
Very subtle. small bam. Just like a
Small
little
bam,
touch.
little
Yes.
bam.
Yeah.
Lowercase b.
And ingredients. You gave yourself an 85. I gave you an 85.
Okay.
You got nearly everything. How are you to know? It was a proprietary blend. The heaviest docking of points in the ingredients list, probably the breadcrumbs. You
Yeah,
chose
that's
plain.
fair.
He uses Italian seasoned.
Yes.
On technique, you gave yourself an 87. I also gave you an 87. Appearance, you gave yourself a 92. And I'm giving you a 94. I docked a few points just on the ooziness of the cheese, but the thing is you got the color on the exterior just right. It's nearly identical. Okay, before I give you the taste score, we're gonna have to taste it.
Okay. We're doing emeralds first.
We're tasting
yeah?
emeralds first. Ooh. I must say, chicken cutlets need a lot of help. So I'm a fan of a proprietary spice blend in this case for that very reason.
Seasoning is like, it's like the
There's a
salt
lot
is
going.
right there.
We're tasting yours now. Look at the layers. Well seasoned, so the salt level is perfect. So for taste, you gave yourself an 85. I gave you an 88. So that brings your overall score to an 89. So bravo, that's a very good job.
Not bad.
Are you happy?
I'm very happy. No,
Literally
that's
what I
really
ask
good.
my daughter all the time. Sorry, are you happy?
Listen, I'm certainly happy with how well I did in terms of recreating this dish and getting really close to the original. You know, all the elements that he was adding in there, the emerald essence, like all of that, I want to believe that that made it less obvious that it was simply a case of seasoned breadcrumbs, and that was that.
If you had to sum this up in one word,
Bam. 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 Sorry, that was rice. I didn't have salt.